Okay, sorry, I got a call and therefore I had to stop. Okay, let's proceed. So again, this cheese is a really salty one. And normally in a traditional carbonara, you would add just the pecorino romano. But in order to, let's say, add umami flavor, I wouldn't say enhance, but add more of a umami flavor, you can add the Parmigiano Reggiano. And you get roughly a ratio between 70% of pecorino romano and 30% of Parmigiano Reggiano. So that's it. If you don't add Parmigiano Reggiano, that's totally fine. It will taste amazing just with this cheese. Now, this cheese will be like the fundament of the carbonara sauce. You don't add any milk, you don't add any cream or anything like this. It's made from this cheese. And I haven't tasted any other cheese that can match up the carbonara except from the pecorino romano. Now we're gonna add roughly 100 grams of 100 to 150 grams of pecorino romano, and we're gonna add Parmigiano Reggiano. You can cut it roughly like this, whatever you wish. What's easier for you, I can just cut it here, being totally mean. There we go. And let's measure it, how much it is. There we go. It's 100 grams, perfect, didn't know. And then we're gonna add the other cheese. How much is this? Let's see. That's 100. I'm just gonna roughly put it like this, There we go. With time, you will be able to tell the difference, how much you need eggs, how much you need cheese and stuff like this. But that's purely okay. You don't need to measure everything. Okay, there we go. Now let's take the eggs. For roughly 2 people, you are gonna take 2 egg yolks and 1 whole egg. Now, if you want to have it more creamy, you're gonna use only egg yolks. If you don't want to waste the whole egg, you can just use 3 eggs. If you're making more than for 2 people, you can just add additional 1 egg for a person. And really depends on your preferences. If you want to make it more creamier or not, you can just add more eggs, less cheese, and you can experiment with it basically. Okay, so let's add 1 whole egg. There we go. We have a 1 whole egg. Then let's only add 1 egg yolk. Okay, this is gonna be a rough one. There we go. And another one. Okay, make your hands a little bit dirty. There we go. Okay. There we go. Let me just quickly wash my hands. Okay, we're back at it. So we got 3 eggs, and I can already feel that the pan is already a little bit colder. We're gonna add now the guanciale. There we go, that we have cut up. Okay, the guanciale is in there, and we're gonna fry it already. You can see that it's turned off and the heat is already going. So we're gonna move the heat up to roughly to mid heat, a little bit above. There we go. Now this is gonna fry in the pan. Sizzle a little bit in the pan. There we go. Yeah, what I forgot to tell you is making carbonara in a wok is the easiest way to do. Okay, because this is now frying, this takes around roughly 5 to 6 minutes, 8 minutes. We're gonna open up and put the pasta. First, we are gonna turn on the water. I already got here some water. Do not salt the water for the pasta carbonara because everything is already salty. The guanciale is salty, the pecorino cheese is salty. Therefore, you don't need to salt anything anymore. There we go. You can push it up to max. Now, what you want to do is get the water boiling and then turn down the heat. Because later on, we don't want boiling hot water because you don't need to cook the pasta. You need to hydrate the pasta. There we go. Let's open the pasta up. There we go. And I'm gonna roughly put half of the package, which is 250 grams, maybe a little bit less, but like 2 full hands. There we go. You don't need real measurement for this. You can add a little bit more. There we go. You know, you can check it up. Okay. A little bit more. And you can see how I measured it just by the package. Now we're gonna check the time. So 10 minutes. So exactly at 6 o'clock. It should be good. I'm gonna stir it up a little bit so it doesn't stick, and we'll cook. Now, I made a mistake. The water is not boiling. I should have put the pasta when the water was boiling and turned down the heat, and that would be totally fine. Doesn't matter, nothing will happen right now. I'm just gonna wait until the water is boiling. The water is really hot already, so it's gonna boil soon. Okay, the guanciale is becoming already crispy. No, not. Now it's starting to sweat. You don't wanna overheat. You wanna leave it slowly to sizzle in the pan, slowly to drain the fat. You know, you don't wanna do it too fast. I think it's already too hot. I'm gonna turn down the heat a little bit. Now we are gonna grind the cheese. You're gonna get a really nice grinder. If you have something like a grinder like this, let me just wait to get it up, like this, in order to create a really fine grind for the cheese. Awesome. If you don't have, yeah, you can use a mixer or whatever you like, but we're gonna grind it like this. And this is now the grinding work. It just takes time a little bit. You can do it while your pasta is being cooked and while the guanciale is sizzling. You can do this. No rush. Leave your time. Enjoy the process. Especially if you enjoy the process, this pasta is going to be much more enjoyable, you know. You see these small pieces? This goes directly into your mouth. Yeah, it's really salty and it's really like incredible. Pecorino Romano is one of my favorite cheeses. Okay, there we go. Now we're gonna take the Parmigiano. I'm gonna finally add it. There we go. I'm gonna finish up the rest of the pecorino. But I think that's totally enough cheese. So that's roughly 100 grams of pecorino and roughly 50 grams of finely mixed cheese. It looks a lot, but you will see later that it's gonna reduce. Okay, let's move on to the guanciale. can see it's already sticking to the pan. This tells me I need to lower the temperature even more. It's a little bit too strong, because what you want to get is the fat. You know, when I render the fat out of the bacon, and you want to burn it. There we go. Mention is using a wok is really useful for making the pasta alla carbonara. So first of all, you're gonna have an easy time to mix it up, and second of all, you got this point of heat where you can sizzle everything and have a really nice heat distribution going on. Okay, let's take out another thing. I think that's fine. Let's stir it up. There we go. And we're gonna stir up, use the same. Now I'm gonna show you a trick for the guanciale. The guanciale should be crispy on the outside and soft on the inside. In order to be able to do this, you can do two things. After you get crispy, you can splash a little bit of pasta water into this in order to have soft inside, or you can even take sparkling water and just add the sparkling water into the pan, but just a little bit, like a couple of drops, not much, and then it's gonna make the inside of each piece really soft. Okay, I think we're gonna turn it down up a little bit to 5. That's enough. Okay, now we're gonna mix up this sauce here of eggs and pecorino and parmigiano. You will see it's quite easily mixed up. You can see that the eggs are really nice when it's like yellow like this. We're using like really high quality, and that's what I recommend everyone. This recipe has few ingredients, and when you take those few ingredients, take high quality ingredients. Okay, there we go. Now, what we're missing? We're missing the peppercorns. The peppercorns are already cooled down. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna crush them. They're gonna fly around a little bit, it doesn't matter. You can just put your hand like this and crush them. Now, crushing involves really crushing, like up and down. And you can already smell the incredible taste of the peppercorns, you know? It's amazing how they smell, it's just unbelievable. They're already there. You don't wanna crush them too fine. You wanna keep some chunks. There we go. Now this is totally fine, as you can see here. You know, and just add it to your mess. There we go. And mix it. Okay, the camera is now wiggling a little bit for the missing, I'm sorry. Okay, let's go back to the guanciale. You can already see it's becoming crispy. But the picker pieces need a little bit more time, right? There we go. Okay. Slowly. We're not in a rush. There we go. Let them fry. Now let's go to the pasta. You can see the water is already boiling. Now I need to turn on the thingy for the heat, and we're gonna turn it off. Just turn it off. You don't need to boil it totally. You can set it to medium or turn it off depending on how well the heat is going on in your in your pot. We got now the main ingredients. We got the cream, we got the guanciale, and we got the pasta. The pasta is cooking, we said until 6, right? It's nearly already there. We got the guanciale still sizzling, and we got the cream here. We're gonna move the cream a little bit to the side. Let's check out the guanciale. There we go. Still needs a little bit time. Now what you can do is get out the smaller pieces, but I want to have those smaller pieces even more crunchy. I want to get those bigger pieces a little bit into the center. There we go. There we go. And slowly sizzle them. We're not in a rush. Okay. What you're gonna do now is you're gonna get a little bit of the pasta water. Just a second, I'm gonna get a thing for that. I'm gonna use the starch of the pasta water to further liquefy the sauce of the carbonara, and you don't want to have it too hot. Now you can see the water is already a little bit going up, maybe even too hot right now. You want to avoid to boil the egg, basically overheating the egg, and that's not good. So making pasta carbonara as well as other dishes like cacio e pepe is all about temperature measuring. And if you are not able to get the correct temperature, you are not gonna get the results. Now this, I can't hold it right now because it's too hot. So it's a little bit too hot. Let it cool off. Let's see how far the guanciale came. We want to have it more crispy, but you can see the small pieces are already getting really crisp, but we want to have it more crispy. Okay, there we go. Let it fry. Let's stir up the pasta a little bit. Let's check if the pasta is cooked. You can do it like this. You can take it, you can see. We can pinch it with the finger, take care it's hot. I can just pinch it and I can feel it's still not ready. It's a little bit too much raw, so I'm gonna put it back and wait a couple of minutes. There we go. Okay. Now you can see the guanciale is already crispy, and we're gonna make the trick I said, is to splash a little bit of pasta water. Just a little bit, you know? There we go. Well, not much. You can already see the reaction. There we go. I don't even sip it a whole, you know? Those are some drops. There we go. I haven't rendered that much of fat, but if you do, you can take the fat out and put it directly into the sauce. I won't do that. I will gonna leave it here. And now we're gonna move back to the sauce. You're gonna touch it, and now it's much easier. You're gonna use this, you see, and then you're gonna put a little bit of water and just a little bit. I'm gonna use this water to liquefy the sauce and keep the rest of the water. Okay, I'm holding now the camera and whisk